Freunde, this was German. Hey guys, today we will learn the variables.
Hey guys, in this video we will start to get into Python programming language. We will concentrate on the concepts and exercises. Variables are the names that you assign to data. In other words, variables store data values. We will talk in a bit what kind of data types exist in Python. In a Python programming language, you create a variable when you assign a value to it. The variable is automatically created after the equal sign. In the example, we have a variable x with the value John and the variable y with the value 30. Now let's add a variable set with the value 180.5. In this example, we have created three variables with three different types: x for strings, y for integers, and z for floats. Are you wondering the data types we have created with our variables? For variable x, the data type is a string. Strings are declared inside a variable with either single or double quotes. Double quotes make it easier to use apostrophes in a string variable. For variable y, we have created an integer number, and for variable z, we have created a float number. Time to program. Let's open our editor and create some variables. Let's start the variable creation. We can start with the variable called name and the string value Joseph. When we print this variable name, print name, we get the string value inside that variable, Joseph. We open the console and call Python next to the script name, Python variable.py, and we press enter. There you go, the result is Joseph, exactly the value of the variable name. What about the variable called age and the integer value 54? When we print this variable, print age, we get that integer variable value when we run this script, Python variable.py. And there you go. The result is Joseph and 54, exactly the values of the variables that we created. Variable names should be descriptive to the data that they hold. Descriptive names in variables are a piece of important advice. While the more complex your scripts are, the easier to access those variables. Python programming language have some rules to create variable names. Number 1, variables should start with a letter or underscore character. Number 2, variables cannot start with a number. Number 3, variables only contain alphanumerical characters and underscores, A to Z, 0 to 9, and underscore. Number 4, variable names are case sensitive. Personally speaking, I avoid using variables with case differences. Let's create some variables with these new rules. Let's program. Let's create a variable my underscore name equals to Mario, string Mario. My underscore age equals to integer 25. My underscore surname equals to the string Ramirez. Underscore country equals to the string Germany. We can print these variable values to check if the variables correspond to the values we assign. Print my underscore name and so on. We open the console and we call the variable.py script, Python variable.py, and we press enter. And there you go. We have created our first variables with different names and data types. Congratulations, you already know variables. Welcome.
Hey guys, please remember to follow our channel in Instagram, Facebook, or here in YouTube. Click the bell to receive weekly videos and be part of that journey.
Number and operations. Python programming language can add, subtract, multiply, and divide numbers. In our previous data type declaration, we discovered the number type integer and the number type float. In the example, we see the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of those numerical values. For example, 3 plus 5 equals to 8, 4 minus 2 equals 2, 10 over 2 equals 5, and 6 times 7 equals 42. But how can we use these operations in Python? We will start this exercise opening the terminal and call Python, and then enter. After Python is initiated, we can directly try our operations. In this terminal session, we can test the basic mathematical operations as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division from the previous example. We will start to write 3 plus 5 and press enter. The result is 8. What we thought, right? We can test the next operation. 4 minus 2 equals to 2. 10 over 2 equals 5. And 6 times 7 equals 42. An additional operation in Python is the exponentiation. In Python, exponentiation works with two multiplication symbols. In this example, we can test 5 to the power of 2, which equals to 25, and 5 to the power of 3, which equals to 125. An additional number type in Python is the float number. The float numbers are those with decimal point. In Python, we can use float numbers without being concerned. The Python programming language will show the results, most of the time. Let's create examples. We will open our terminal and run Python. After Python has initiated, we enter the operations with the floats. The first operation, 1.0 plus 2.0 equals 3.0. The second, 4.5 plus 3.0 equals 7.5. The next one, 46.7 plus 78.0 equals 124.7. And the last one, 0.1 plus 0.2, which equals... wow, that long number. That's why we said that most of the time, Python handles float numbers accordingly. However, don't worry. There are several methods that we can apply to correct this in Python. If you are wondering why this is happening, please comment on the box and I will answer it to you guys. We have learned that Python handles two types of numbers and three basic data types: floats, integer, and strings. Congratulations! In this last section, we will start to create some variables and work with them. You should open your editor and make a new file. We will save the script with the name variables2.py. Remember that you will run the file in the location you saved the file. In this case, we saved the file in the location Python basics. When we found the location that we want to save it, variables2.py, enter. And afterwards, you can see in the left position that we have the variables2.py. We will start commenting our file as always with free data scientists. Afterwards, we will create our variable name with the string value Larissa. A second variable surname with the string Smith will be created as well. What if we want to add two string values? Let's create a third variable called full name and add our previous two variables, name plus surname. We will now print this variable full name. Print full name. We open now the terminal and run the script. As always, we first call Python and the script name variables2.py and press enter. We see that two strings can be added, and now we got the full name. As you can notice, we got the value of two strings without a space between the name and the surname. This lack of a space is happening because Python applies concatenation between two strings without making a difference between them. That is the reason this is called concatenation. The way to solve this is simply add the space between the two strings variables. We will add in the full name variable a space between the variables, which corresponds to a string without a value. We open the console again and run the script Python variables2.py and press enter. We got now the full name as we expected. Now let's try to get more information into a variable. We will create a new variable. The variable age will have the age of Larissa. In this case, we have set the variable integer value to 25. We now create a new variable for the concat of these three variables. The variable representation has the addition of the name, surname, and age. We should add the string is between the full name and the age variable. I decided to add an integer value 25 to see how the script runs rather than the variable age. Afterwards, we print the presentation value and comment the variable full name. With this, the variable full name will not print. We open the console and call Python variables2.py and press enter. We can see that the script did not run. The reason is written down. The concat cannot be done between strings and integers. The strings can be concatenated just with the strings. Therefore, we must change our integer value in the variable age to string. For this, we apply the string method str to the variable age. This method returns the string of the given object in the variable. In this case, it will return the integer 25 into string 25. This is important. Well, we must understand that numerical values can be given in strings and in numerical integers or floats. For this new variable, with the method str, we must add the spacing between the variables, and we afterwards run the script. Guys, remember to visit our page to download all these scripts. We open the console and call Python variables2.py. Enter. The result shows the concat between the variables and our transform variable. This is not the only method that you can apply to variables with strings or numbers. However, it is not necessary to see more methods for this tutorial. As you get more proficient in Python, the methods that you need are particular to the problem you tackle. Therefore, you search for that specific method that you need. Do not worry, in these videos we will get you confident into programming and search new methods for solving problems. In this video, you learn about variables, data types, and methods for variables. Congratulations, keep it up and watching the next videos. And please, remember to subscribe to our channel, to our social media, if you want to become a data scientist. Do it now!